President Trump is dealing with his worst week since taking office. A failed health care bill, the resignation of his chief of staff, his new communications director went off on a tirade with a reporter, and now North Korea's launch of a missile that could reach the West Coast. Joining us now is Loyola Marymount professor Michael Genovese. Thank you so much for being here as always, Professor.
Thank you.
We appreciate your insight. Now, I want to get to this shakeup right away because we first saw Sean Spicer, the press secretary, out in Scaramucci, and now we're seeing another shakeup. We're seeing General Kelly replace Reince Priebus as chief of staff. What do you make of this, and can we expect any immediate changes?
Well, you know, Serene, that was so 8 hours ago. I mean, there are changes
So
every
quickly.
few minutes. I used to think about the crisis du jour, and now it's the crisis every moment. And that's because this White House operates on chaos and distraction and disruption. But you have a White House at war with itself, and you saw all the problems that you mentioned need to be addressed. And the president couldn't take responsibility. He blamed Reince Priebus. So you bring in Kelly. What will Kelly do? Kelly will bring order, hierarchy, and discipline to the White House staff. The real question, though, is can he bring order and discipline to President Trump? That's going to be the key. The problem wasn't Reince Priebus, it was the president and his disruptive style. He can tear down, but he doesn't show that he can build up. And so General Kelly, who is an excellent choice, has a big job, but his main job is going to be to see if he can control the president himself.
Wow, very interesting. I do want to move on to the healthcare debate because we have seen that the GOP party cannot get anything really accomplished. We heard Nancy Pelosi, the minority leader, say, let's work at a bipartisan deal. Do you think a bipartisan deal is the only shot at getting something done here?
Well, the table's set for that. But pardon me for not being too encouraging about it. You have two problems. One's the Democrats, the other's the Republicans. The Democrats have built their whole approach to resistance. Well, that's fine as far as it goes, but you also have to offer an alternative. And so the Democrats have failed us because they've been strong on resistance but weak on an alternative. The Republicans have failed us because, well, let's be honest, anything with Obama's name in the front, the Republicans just have an obsession about destroying.
Right.
And the president himself is the leader of that. The president has said, let's let it implode. That's grossly irresponsible. Millions of Americans would suffer. You can't, as president, control what's in your inbox. You have to deal with whatever is there. And you may not like it, you may not want it, but that's your job and that's your responsibility. And to walk away from this is grossly irresponsible.
Moving back to international affairs, we saw a second successful test by North Korea, a missile launch, and we're being told that this one could actually reach Los Angeles, if not Chicago or even the East Coast. How does the Trump administration respond to this?
Well, in the midst of all the other chaos that's going on, this is the problem from hell that's been delivered to us. And you've got two leaders, Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump, who are very self-centered. And the way out of this mess, if there is a way, the model is pretty clear, and the military has told us about this model. It's the Iran nuclear deal model. An imperfect deal. It's got certain flaws, but given what could happen, it actually moves us well forward. The problem with the Iran model is the president is so opposed to that that he may not want to do what the generals and most analysts think you have to do. It comes at a price, and the price is that you can't sacrifice the good for the perfect. And if we walk away from this and say, well, I'm not going to do it because the Obama team did the Iran nuclear deal and I don't like it, then I think we're jeopardizing national security. And as you know, in the last 48 hours, the stakes have changed dramatically. So this will be probably one of the biggest tests of Donald Trump as president in his presidency.
And now South Korea is saying that they want to build a nuclear arms program because they're not dependent on us anymore. They don't want to rely on us anymore.
And Donald Trump during the campaign talked about Japan and South Korea developing nuclear weapons. We're better off with fewer rather than more nuclearized countries. You don't want to have proliferation because of the problems that could ensue. You could have it fall into the wrong hands, a terrorist could get it, an accident could happen. So the fewer nuclear powers you have, the better off you are. And to encourage the nuclearization of the Pacific, that's just a crisis waiting to happen.
All right, Professor Michael Genovese, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. A lot to talk about as always.
Thank you.